And Dayton is a team everyone keeps talking about, thinks they can do some damage here. They've been pretty good so far this year, but they're laying, it looks like, unless it's moved, it looks like 8.5 here, Ralph. Looks like 8.5 points they're going to be laying in this game to a VCU team that, well, it's 8 now. It's down to 8. 138 is the total. But this is a tough, again, Virginia Commonwealth, we've talked about it. This is still a pretty tough team, certainly from a defensive standpoint. 8.5 seems like a lot of points here, Ralph. Might VCU be worth a backing here?
Not in my book. I'm looking up.
I knew you were going to say that. I love it.
In the Atlantic, okay, I'm looking at Blue Ribbon, and I just wanted to see what they have.
Okay.
They actually had Davidson as the number 1 team in the Atlantic 10 in their forecast. And that's a lot of the reason you see Davidson going up from 3 to 5, because people now get involved looking at Blue Ribbon where they had their projections.
Of course.
And now getting involved.
Yep.
They had VCU 2 and they had Dayton 3. Going back to the media, when the media voted a couple months ago, they had 19 of the 28 votes were for VCU,
Ooh.
8 for Davidson, 1 for Dayton. So Dayton was not supposed to be this team. I had Dayton much higher than they were. You know, you're coming off a 21-win season where you had a very disappointing finish. You know, you got knocked out. You were 21-10. You were in the mix for a mid-major, and then you get knocked out in the first round in the A-10 against St. Louis, and then you are disinterested in the NIT and you get knocked out. So Anthony Grant has his team completely ready to play. You're looking at 5, you have 4 upperclassmen and a sophomore at center. You have a team that's 14-2, playing absolutely elite offense. They're number 1 in effective field goal percentage in the country. And their only 2 losses, Joe, to Kansas in overtime and a neutral setting, and to Colorado in overtime in a neutral setting. I still think this Dayton team has a chip on their shoulder. I think this Dayton team knows they weren't picked to win the conference. I think that this is their first chance for someone to come in and have to feel the wrath of the University of Dayton Arena. I see VCU, and I look at what they did. That Rhode Island loss was not good. Their other wins were not impressive going in. Fordham and George Mason, they played 2 bottom feeders in the conference. Their schedule was very weak. It was 200 plus. Their only good win on the year was against LSU, and that was back at home by 2 points. And that was, again, remember, an LSU head coach coming home.
Yeah, we talked about that.
He was absolutely thrilled to be playing them.
Yep.
Now you're going on the road, and you're playing Anthony Grant. Oh, yeah, by the way, Anthony Grant started at VCU back in 2007. He went from VCU to Alabama before he came to Dayton. Right now, I mean, this Dayton team, to me, my power ratings have them as a top 10 team, Joe.
Oh.
I think they're that legit. If they lose the conference this year with your losses to Kansas and Colorado, and they do what I think they're going to do on the way, and they win 25 games, there's no question they're a team that's going to be a March Madness team. I do like Dayton in this game.